Welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah, thrilled to be here with you today.
So today we're getting into something that you might think is completely straightforward. You buy a heavy steel safe.
A massive metal box.
Exactly. Or you punch a complex code into your front door's new smart lock and you think to yourself, okay, I'm perfectly secure.
Right, you've done the work.
You've bought the hardware, you hold the keys, but there's this really provocative question that gets completely overlooked in physical security.
And it's a big one.
Who really has the code?
Yeah, that is the ultimate vulnerability in modern security architecture. We place this immense, blind faith in heavy metal boxes and digital keypads.
We really do.
We just assume that physical possession of the hardware means exclusive access.
And today's mission is basically to shatter that illusion for you. We are doing a deep dive into the psychology, the strategy, and the actual preventative measures of physical security and safe ownership.
Because the reality is a lot more complicated.
It is. We've got a fascinating stack of sources for this one. Locksmith trade materials, consumer protection investigations, hardware reviews.
And expert service guides, yeah.
Right. And we're going to explore the hidden vulnerabilities of your safes, the operational security of Discretion, and really how to balance everyday convenience with hardcore security. All without drowning you in technical jargon.
Because understanding the mechanics behind this stuff is your best defense. The security industry loves obscurity and technical jargon.
Oh, absolutely.
Which leaves even really informed consumers totally exposed. So breaking down the engineering and the human element is how you build a truly resilient system.
Navigating all this also means knowing exactly who to trust when you're reinforcing your perimeter. Which actually brings us to today's sponsor, West Point Locksmith.
A crucial part of the puzzle.
Completely. Because when it comes to true security, you want a vetted, 5-star rated professional. Whether you need a smart lock installed or emergency lockout help, West Point Locksmith is the fast, reliable 24/7 service keeping Los Angeles homes, businesses, and vehicles secure.
You definitely don't want just anyone messing with your access points.
No, you don't. You can call them at 310-295-4040. Keep that number saved. Trust me. Okay, let's unpack this. We have to confront the jarring reality that owning a safe doesn't mean you are the only one with access.
Right. We tend to view safes as these isolated, impenetrable fortresses.
Like an island.
Exactly. But the manufacturing reality, especially with electronic locks, introduces a huge amount of third-party risk.
A perfect example of this from the sources is that recent controversy involving Liberty Safe.
Oh yeah, that made huge waves.
It really did. During an investigation, law enforcement served a warrant to the manufacturer, and Liberty Safe provided the FBI with a specific safe's access combination. And look, stripping away the politics of that specific event.
We're just looking at the mechanics here.
Yeah, exactly. Just reporting the raw mechanical fact from the source material. The manufacturer maintained a database of backdoor override codes tied to the serial numbers of their safes.
What's fascinating here is the delta between consumer perception and engineering reality. People were shocked.
They were outraged.
Right. But the Liberty Safe incident just thrust a known industry standard into the mainstream. With electronic locks, manufacturers frequently build in a factory reset protocol.
Or a master override code.
Yes. So consumers bolt the safe to the floor, punch in their custom 6-digit PIN, and assume the loop is closed.
I set my PIN, I'm the only one.
Exactly. They don't account for the fact that a default factory sequence might still be active, or that a master key exists on a server hundreds of miles away.
Which is wild to think about, and the vulnerability curve gets even steeper when we look at cheap budget safes.
Oh, the big box store safes.
Yeah. Looking at the hardware teardown videos in our sources, the security flaws are almost comical. There is footage of a Sentry safe being opened in less than 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Less than 5 seconds using nothing but a rare earth magnet inside a sock.
The magnetic bypass. It's a classic exploitation of cheap solenoid locks.
Explain that for us. What is a solenoid?
So a solenoid is basically an electromagnet that pulls a locking pin back when the correct code is entered on the keypad.
Yeah.
But in budget safes, there's zero magnetic shielding.
None at all.
Right, so if you place a strong enough rare earth magnet on the outside of the door, right over where the solenoid is, it magnetically drags the pin back.
Meaning the keypad is entirely irrelevant.
Completely bypassed. You're not cracking the code, you're attacking the physical hardware.
And if you don't have a magnet, you can apparently use an electronic safe booster box.
Yeah, those are terrifying.
The video showed this device delivering a massive voltage spike directly through the keypad's wiring. It just overloads the circuit and shocks the solenoid into the open position.
Again, bypassing the cryptography entirely.
I was looking at another teardown where a cheap safe's external battery pack got damaged. And instead of triggering a fail-secure lockout where you'd need a locksmith, the electronics were so poorly shielded that the guy literally spliced the wires of a fresh 9-volt battery,
I saw that.
touched them to the exposed contacts on the outside of the safe, and just hot-wired the locking mechanism open.
Which brings us to a critical rule of thumb, an actionable takeaway for your threat modeling.
Yeah.
You get what you pay for.
Yep.
A cheap safe is not a secure safe. It is a heavy metal box that gives you an illusion of control. If you have an electronic lock, you have proactively changed all factory default codes immediately.
And check the manual.
Yes, read the documentation, understand exactly who retains override privileges. Or, honestly, see if you can swap the lock out for a standalone mechanical dial.
Because a mechanical dial has no digital backdoor.
Exactly. No wires, no servers.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Let's shift from the hardware itself to the placement. The operational security, or OPSC, of owning a safe.
Because hiding it is just as important as locking it.
Right. From the source videos, they discuss the psychology of hiding a safe. Putting a massive safe right in the middle of your master bedroom closet is a catastrophic failure of OPSC.
It defeats the whole purpose. The fundamental rule here is security through obscurity.
Because the master bedroom is the very first place an intruder looks.
Always. You've essentially gathered your most valuable assets, put them in a convenient central location, and highlighted them. If nobody knows the safe exists, the likelihood of a targeted attack drops to near zero.
We also have to talk about the physical installation. The debate between bolting a safe down into concrete versus having a portable, concealed safe.
Well, people have this natural tendency to overshare, which ruins the concealment part.
Oh, social media.
Social media is the worst offender. They buy an impressive 1,000-pound safe, and they post a photo that happens to have the safe in the background, complete with geotagging data.
Or casually mentioning it to the HVAC contractor working in the hallway.
Right. It's broadcasting a massive signal, saying, hey, I have physical assets worth protecting.
You're just putting a target on your own back at that point. Discretion has to be absolute.
The only individuals who should legitimately know about that safe are those who absolutely require access to it.
But that brings up a fascinating friction point with estate planning. Because you want total privacy, but you also need emergency access planning.
You do. If something happens to you, the executor of your estate needs to find your documents.
So how do you balance that?
It requires a compartmentalized approach. You don't share the code casually. A highly secure method is leaving sealed instructions with a trusted estate attorney.
Ah, okay.
Stipulating that the info is only released under verifiable conditions, like a death certificate. So you maintain your privacy in life, but ensure an organized transfer when necessary.
That's incredibly smart. And going back to bolting it down, a 500-pound safe feels immovable to you and me.
Sure, when you're just pushing on it.
But two motivated burglars with a heavy-duty appliance dolly can rip it out of a closet and wheel it down your driveway in under 3 minutes.
I've seen the security footage of that happening. It's incredibly fast.
So using heavy expansion anchors drilled directly into a concrete slab fundamentally changes the math for the attacker.
And the safe being anchored needs to actually be engineered for the correct threat. This is where ratings really matter, and consumers frequently misinterpret them.
Fire ratings versus burglary ratings.
Yes. There is a massive structural difference.
The sources explain that fire safes use these intumescent seals that expand with heat, and the walls are filled with a gypsum-based material.
Right, which releases moisture to keep the internal temperature down so your paper documents don't combust.
But gypsum is basically just heavy drywall. It's incredibly soft.
Very soft. A burglar with a standard crowbar can peel the steel skin off a fire safe and smash right through that insulation in minutes.
But a burglary-rated safe is a completely different beast.
Entirely. Like a UL-lifted TL15 or TL30. The TL stands for tool-resistant.
And the 30 means 30 minutes.
Exactly. A TL30 rating means the safe has withstood a punishing 30-minute attack by professional underwriters' laboratories engineers.
Using real tools.
Oh yeah, everything from carbide drills and abrasive cutting wheels to power saws and sledgehammers. And the clock only runs while the tools are actively touching the safe.
That is hardcore engineering. They use hard plates with ball bearings that snap drill bits.
And independent glass relockers. If the door is struck too hard, the glass shatters and permanently locks the bolts.
Wow. Now, on the flip side of these massive vaults, the sources also pointed out the rise of quick-access biometric pistol safes and bedside safes.
Which serve a completely different purpose.
Right. They balance privacy with emergency access. You want quick access in a nighttime emergency using a fingerprint, but again, discretion is key.
If you overshare the existence of those quick access safes with friends or contractors, your operational security is compromised.
And naturally, when we talk about properly installing these, especially bolting down a high-security TL-rated safe without damaging it,
You really need a professional.
you do, which is a perfect time to remind you about West Point Locksmith. With their incredible 5-star reviews, West Point Locksmith's experts use non-destructive techniques to service and repair safes. If you're in LA, call them at 310-295-4040. Fast, reliable, and professional.
Because trust is the operative word here.
Yeah.
Introducing unvetted individuals into your security perimeter can be financially and physically devastating.
So what does this all mean when you are locked out of your safe or you're standing outside your front door in the rain, panicking?
It means you are highly vulnerable.
Extremely.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the locksmith industry deals with people in distress. You have a high time preference, you're locked out, you're shivering.
You aren't checking credentials at that exact moment.
Exactly. And scammers build their entire business model around preying on that panic.
I was reading about these shocking undercover investigations from our sources. Scammers will quote a low price on the phone, like $50 for a service call.
The bait and switch.
Right. But the moment they arrive, they look at your standard house lock and claim it's a quote-unquote high-security commercial lock.
Building a false narrative to justify an insane upcharge.
They intentionally drill and destroy it, and suddenly that $50 quote becomes a $300 bill. Or in one case, $952.
It's extortion. And legitimate, honest, hardworking locksmiths hate these scammers.
I bet. What is the technical difference between what a real locksmith does versus a scammer?
It comes down to destructive versus non-destructive entry. A true professional has the tactile skill to pick standard locks in minutes.
Using real tools.
Yeah, litchi tools, traditional tension wrenches. Even for safes, they use specialized tools like fiber optic borescopes, precision drill rigs, or override tools to ensure minimal to no damage.
Whereas scammers have absolutely zero skills.
None. They just drill everything, they destroy your property, overcharge you for labor, and then sell you a cheap replacement lock out of their trunk.
Which is why our preventative strategy here is so crucial. You need to find a trusted local locksmith before emergency strikes.
Do the vetting while you're calm.
Check their Better Business Bureau ratings, and watch out for those fake lead generation map listings on search engines. You think you're calling a local shop, but it's an out-of-state call center.
Dispatching an untrained guy in an unmarked car. Yes, secure that contact in your phone today.
Now let's shift gears a bit. From heavy metal safes to the digital perimeter of your home. Modernizing access with smart locks.
This is a massive evolution in security.
We looked at hardware reviews for top smart locks like the Schlage Encode Plus, Kwikset 916, Wise Auto Lock Bolt, and the Yale Assure 2.
Upgrading the front door. The transition from physical cut keys to cryptographic digital access is a huge paradigm shift.
Well, it completely eliminates the risk of unauthorized key duplication.
Which is a massive vulnerability with physical keys.
And the features on these are incredible. The Schlage Encode Plus has Apple Home Key integration. You just tap your iPhone or Apple Watch to the deadbolt.
Near-field communication. It's seamless. No fumbling in the dark.
But then there's the Wise Auto Lock Bolt, which has this amazing anti-peep keypad feature.
I love that feature. It's such an elegant software solution to a physical problem.
Yeah. Explain how that works for the listener.
So it counters shoulder surfing. If you think someone is watching you, you can type a bunch of random digits before and after your actual code.
Like 842, then your code, then 915.
Exactly. As long as the correct sequence occurs uninterrupted somewhere in there, the lock opens. The person watching just sees you hit 15 random numbers.
That's brilliant. We also saw a lot of debate in the sources about the reliability of Z-Wave versus Wi-Fi for these locks.
Right, connectivity protocols matter. Wi-Fi connects directly to your router, but it drains the battery really fast.
Because it requires constant power.
Yes. But Z-Wave locks, like the Kwikset 916, use a 900 megahertz mesh network. They need a smart home hub, but the batteries last way longer, and they don't clog up your Wi-Fi bandwidth.
And taking these digital access lessons and applying them to business owners, we're seeing commercial discretion evolve too,
Oh, businesses are rapidly moving away from physical master keys.
toward cloud-based access control.
Yes, using biometric entry, RFID fobs, and heavy-duty magnetic locks.
Net blocks.
Right. But this raises an important question about what we call code hygiene.
Code hygiene.
Your keypad codes should be changed quarterly or semi-annually, and immediately if an employee is terminated.
So physical keys and digital fobs must be strictly managed to maintain true security.
Exactly. You can have the strongest mag lock in the world, but if a fired employee still has an active fob, your perimeter is breached.
That makes perfect sense. Well, navigating this whole world of security really requires a trusted partner. So one last time, save West Point Locksmith in your phone right now. Backed by glowing 5-star reviews, they are available 24/7. Call 31295-4040 for fast, reliable, and professional locksmiths, serving all of Los Angeles for your home, business, and vehicle needs.
It's the best proactive step you can take today.
So, to summarize our key takeaways from this deep dive, don't trust factory default codes. Hide and bolt down your safes into concrete. Vet your security professionals before you're shivering in a panic. And manage your digital access codes like they are literal keys to your life.
Those are robust guidelines for the physical world, but I want to leave you with one final, somewhat unsettling thing to ponder.
Oh boy, lay it on us.
We've talked about securing your physical safe and protecting your smart locks from hackers. But what about the physical trail of your digital keys?
What do you...
Think about it. With the rise of incredibly sophisticated AI audio deepfakes, what happens if a digital intruder clones your voice?
Oh, wow.
If an attacker can perfectly synthesize your speech patterns, could they just stand outside your window and ask your voice-activated smart home hub to unlock the front door?
While you're asleep?
Right. Does your heavy-duty physical safe and your encrypted deadbolt become entirely useless against an invisible digital intruder?
That is terrifying, and definitely something you should explore before you link your deadbolts to your smart speakers. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Stay curious, stay secure, and we'll see you next time.